Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. This is episode, Ron, number 44. It's crazy. And we have TV Cowboys Award. This is our TV Cowboys Award show.
Award show, exactly.
It's not annual. These stand forever. They're
Yeah.
going to be inscribed in stone because most of these shows haven't been on TV for 50 years. So
That's
you can't
right.
just
So,
keep bringing up.
there's no comeback here. None.
No, I'm Mike, just Mike. This is Ron, just Ron. And hey, this is apparently important. It's important because we think it's important, maybe. Subscribe. We've got 13
Absolutely.
subscribers, and I don't want to have 13. That's bad luck. I want to have 14. Ron thinks it's not bad luck. I think it's terrible
I
luck.
love 13, but hey, disappoint me.
Let's get off 13. Somebody out there, even if you're not really subscribing, if you're here, hit that subscribe button.
Give us up to 13 schneid and, make Mike a happy guy.
We could use an upvoter too, I guess. I don't know. Somebody thinks it's important. Everybody else says it's important, so we're going to say it's important. And but we're off, Ron. We're talking about Cowboy stuff, Cowboy TV specifically, although we might make an exception for a movie here and there, but I don't think so. And we've got awards. We've got awards to give tonight. We're going to recognize all these Cowboy shows that we all love so much. We boomer men love.
Right.
Hey, the women like them too, I think. All right, what did we say? Best house, best Cowboy house.
Yeah, that's probably one of my slimmest ones. But hey, I've got a couple of favorites because it was two of the best houses, and you probably get the same ones. The Ponderosa, that's the one they really showed a lot.
That's the only one I had.
And the Barclays, because the Barclays were rich, and both those families were rich, so obviously they had the best houses.
No, but it's Ponderosa wins hands down because it's got the best floor plan. I dare anybody to tell me what the Barclays floor plan was. It just looked like this big fancy house, but what was the floor plan?
And that house was obviously designed after Ben's many wives died, because that is the manliest house. I mean, there's animal heads on the wall and the big and the furs on it. And no woman would have put up with that. She'd have had pills everywhere. You know it, and I know it.
Oh, and we don't want our listeners, our 13 subscribers and Steve and Don and Hubert and our anonymous person who posts occasionally about mistakes we make. We don't want to hear any criticism about any other choice with Ponderosa house. I mean, there was a High Chaparral, but all I remember about that's dried mud. They just had one of those adobe things.
I don't have any memory of that. I mean, the Ponderosa's house was iconic. They did so much action in there and stuff because they did so many episodes that weren't out having adventures. It was something like where they were trying to reform somebody or something, and it would be all the stuff going on in the house, with Hop Sing and everybody. And,
you even get to see the bedrooms. We kind of remember the bedrooms, big manly.
Yeah, you did.
Cartwright bedrooms, and it had talk about a great room. They just had that big room. They had the dining area, and then you go out into the living area.
Stairs going up.
And you got the fireplace, and you got Ben Cartwright's office tucked over next to the window, and you know what the entryway looks like, where the pegs are for the hats. You just come on, where the kitchen is.
Outside,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's easy. Worst house is also, I think, pretty easy. Worst Cowboy house is what?
Oh, I don't know. Lay it on me.
Lucas McCain, the rifleman. Lucas McCain.
Oh, okay.
The rifleman. Hey.
Well, because was he really poor or something? See, I didn't watch that show a lot, so.
The rifleman. They just had. It was a little. It wasn't a shack exactly, but it wasn't too far up from a shack. Just had the little porch and had the little room. Mark's room. They showed Mark's room sometimes, and it was just like a little narrow thing about 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
It looked like a bunkhouse. And it was just, but they showed it. I'm telling you, if you watch the Rifleman a lot, they showed it all the time. And the barn was nicer than the house. I don't think there's any argument. But it was just a little shed. But it was probably more like a true ranch house really was, rather than the Ponderosa or the Barclay Mansion, or the High Chaparral, or Scarlett O'Hara belonged in in the Barclays mansion. I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So that's the best house. No big arguments there. Ponderosa and hey, you know what? I don't even think Lucas McCain's ranch had a name. They just go, yeah, go out to Lucas McCain's place. It didn't even have a name.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I don't know a lot about that one.
I don't think he even branded his cattle. He just, because he didn't have a brand, just, All right. Best sidekick. What do you got?
Okay, I got some good ones here. All right. I'm just going to count all the Matt Dillon sidekicks from Gunsmoke as one. Chester, Festus, Burt Reynolds as Quint, and Newley later on.
Yeah.
Buck Taylor, who's still alive and was also famously in my favorite Western other than Outlaw Josey Wales, Tombstone.
I came to the same conclusion. I'm looking down through the sidekicks. The only other one that really got in my game was I'm nominating is Baba Louie from Quick Draw McGraw Cartoon. And Tonto. Tonto's got to be too. Tonto's got to be in there.
Yeah.
And
if you count Daniel Boone as a Western, you got Mingo.
Mingo, yeah, you got Mingo. And boy, the Native Americans kind of jump up there when you start doing sidekicks.
They really kind of do, yeah.
And Pancho, Cisco Kid,
because they were very equal to the stars, yeah.
And I don't know who's the winner. Who's the best sidekick ever?
Give me your. I like Chester a lot, but just for longevity, I gotta go with Festus, man.
I agree with you 100%. Festus for this one thing, the mule.
Festus riding the mule and walking down the street, you knew Festus was coming. Ching, 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 and dead gums spurs.
I kind of want to go with
that hat too. He kind of had that that Hoss Cartwright tall hat. He was great.
His clothes didn't even fit. Nothing fit.
Yeah.
His shoes were too big.
And the way he talked, and the way he hacked off Doc, it was great.
You got to hand it to him. I think it's best.
What a character,
I like. Well, I gave a little nod on the nominee to Mark too from the Rifleman. Just he was the son, but he acted as a sidekick, and he had the telepathy with his dad. Pa, and Pa would know right where to shoot, and all that. So there was that. And worst sidekick, I think, is Baba Louie, just because he was a cartoon. Don't you think?
Well, I like Festus calling Matt Matthew. Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew.
He's the only person who could get away with calling him Matthew. Nobody called him Matthew. But
he was the predecessor. I don't know if he was. He was the predecessor to Barney Fife.
Yeah.
Except,
wow, there is a dog going nuts. I don't know what's going on.
Don't they know we're recording?
They should have more respect.
All right, let's go to the next category. So we've got the Ponderosa. We've got the best sidekick is Festus, and I think he's the winner. Although, you got to give some nods. There's some other good. I mean, Tonto is iconic. There's even Tonto jokes that are great, but we won't tell any of them. Best cowgirl. And there's not a lot of people in this category, but
there's really only one I can think of, and that is Linda Evans.
Linda Evans? Well, what about Victoria? Victoria would get that neat black outfit and she'd ride around.
She would get kind of tough, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, she'd probably shoot you. And
she had that look, didn't she?
Audra Barkley would not. Well, Dale Evans. You got to put Dale Evans in there. But, I don't know. Dale Evans.
By default,
Yeah, Dale Evans was kind of weak sauce always, I thought. She was just along for the ride. Roy brought her. She was kind of like, the cowgirl version of, Hillary Clinton or something. She's just along for the ride.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Nobody really liked her.
Let's put more like Nancy Reagan, okay? Yeah,
okay.
A little more like that.
But everybody's
let's not go there, man.
I'm just not a big deal. I always was sitting there going, couldn't Roy get a better looking wife than that? And just, Dale, I'm sure it was okay. But
I could do a whole show on that, but
yeah. Hey, don't forget Annie Oakley, the old Annie Oakley show. She
let's
could
see. I'm never familiar with that one.
Cowgirl. But I'm like you. I'm going with Audra Barkley just because best looking.
Linda Evans, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was. You couldn't, and she's just interesting too. With nods
and
to
one of John Derek's many hot wives. I don't know what his name was.
Sure.
I
don't have a worse.
Linda Evans and Bo Derek. Come on, man. It's not even fair.
I don't think there is a worst in that category. They're just because there's so few. I'm not going to pick somebody out just because of the few. What about the best weapon? Best weapon.
Okay.
Interesting.
I had it as signature weapons, but same thing.
Signature
and this
weapon.
Is what I have. You got the Lone Ranger's Silver Bullet,
right? Which came out of a real shiny gun.
The Rifleman's repeating 44 caliber Winchester carbine rifle
with the big loop.
Yep. And here's one kind of off the wall, but I like this one. James West from the Wild Wild West, his sliding Derringer that came out of his sleeve.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Secret weapon, yeah.
I like that. I don't like it, but I kind of do. And hang on, I'm best weapon. I've got something. Oh, I've got a good one. Branded.
Okay.
Another Chuck Connors Western.
Yeah.
The Broken Sword.
Oh, it was sweet.
It was symbolic.
Yep.
He used it as a weapon. I remember once he threw it through the air and it hit a rope of a guy about to be hung and it cut the rope. And he pulled it on people occasionally when a gun wasn't appropriate or he couldn't reach his gun. But I always liked that one. And I like the symbolism.
Okay, you made me write something else down, dadgummit.
What?
Hang on. All right, hang on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, all right. Okay, here we go. Okay, and now I'm done. Okay.
Hey, what about that Steve McQueen? We talked about that last week a little. The cutoff.
Wanted Dead or Alive. That was his
Wanted
show,
Dead
right?
or Alive. Yeah. Plus, he had a scabbard, a holder for that gun that I never did figure out. The whole gun was on some kind of a hinge on his side. It was a cut down.
Yeah.
Maybe rifle or shotgun, or I guess it was a rifle. And about yay long, about 18 inches long, 20 inches long. And,
I'm not
and
familiar with the show, really. I know him in the show. I don't know the show. So you got to look it up. You're on your own on that one.
You got to look that one up. It's pretty great. It's pretty great, but it's a little too complicated. And honestly, I think they were trying too hard on the show to make him different. Just give him a gun. It's Steve McQueen. He doesn't need much extra to be cooler than the average cowboy. I mean, it's freaking Steve McQueen. You don't, so I thought they were trying too hard, but it's still an interesting weapon. You have to look it up. And I've got another one too, and I like this because of the style of it.
It's a nice segue.
Can you hear me?
There's not much to it, but it's a nice segue.
Yeah. What?
Best job.
Wait.
Of course, my favorite is Miss Kitty.
I'm not done. I still have a nominee here, Ron.
Okay, I'm trying to move ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, look, it's the Paladin holster with the chess piece symbol on it, the knight chess piece, the horse's head, and it was just cool. The whole gun was just very paladin. But anyway, we never picked the winner. What's the winner for the best weapon?
Best weapon. Shoot.
Doesn't it have to be?
I love the silver bullets, but you know what? I gotta go with the rifleman's rifle.
Yeah. The show's name for it.
Yeah.
He's got a nickname. They come in.
It's the name of the show. I mean, come on.
And they come
the Lone Ranger isn't called the Silver Bullet. Rifleman's called the Rifle.
The Rifleman. I agree. and he's known by it. He's recognized by it. There are episodes where bad guy comes into town, Lucas rides in. One bad guy says to the other bad guy something to the effect of, "That's got to be him. Look at that rifle he's toting."
Yeah,
Stuff like
exactly.
that. And they called him the rifleman in the show. Sometimes we're looking for the man everybody calls the rifleman. See, that's a nickname. And it was,
That's
come
I
on.
didn't know because I hadn't watched enough. That's funny.
Well, let me tell you, they did it. And also, it wasn't like Tonto came rolling in and people came in looking for the Lone Ranger, going, "Oh, sometimes they call him the Silver Bullet." No, they don't.
Now, the Silver Bullet only came around when he left, and they go, and we didn't even have a chance to thank him.
Thank you. No, and they didn't. Oh, yeah. Hey, we left Ron. There's another one, Ron. Bat Masterson's cane.
Okay, I was going to ask you about Bat Masterson. I was going to look that up, and I kept forgetting to.
Oh, he had a silver tip cane that he twirled, and he carried around with him all the time, and he'd hit people with it, knock guns out of people's hands.
I knew he had a special weapon and stuff, and the bowler hat and all that.
Oh, yeah. But,
which, interestingly enough, I was reading about, not too long about the history of cowboys and stuff like that. More cowboys wore bowler hats than they actually wore cowboy hats. I don't know why. It was I guess it was just easier to get or something.
Yep. Derby hat. You just trying to.
Bowler hats.
You just needed something to put a little water in to feed your horse water. That's what they used it for. That's what it was for. All right. What was the next one? The outfit? Best outfit?
I was gonna go with something that was gonna be related to something else. I didn't want to miss it. Okay. I thought it was pretty interesting. I was gonna go with best job because we talked about that. There's not many people for it, but it trust me, it leads into something else.
Best job.
Yeah. And I had two people from Gunsmoke just because it's the only people I could think of that had steady jobs.
Right.
And that was, of course, Miss Kitty was,
Let's not even talk about that.
The madam of the Long Branch.
Kitty. Right.
And another person you might not have thought of was Sam the bartender at the Long Branch.
Right. Well, what about Doc?
Well, Sam, who was played by, do you know who played Sam?
No.
Glenn Strange. Does that name sound familiar to you at all?
No.
Okay. He was the guy who followed Boris Karloff playing the Frankenstein monster in many, many movies. And he looked very similar to Karloff. Of course, he was a big guy, 6'4".
Yeah. I knew he was a big guy.
He was in I think he was in more movies than Karloff.
Huh. Well, I did not know.
That leads me into another award, which would be Best Villains. So we talked about that.
But
he's one of my best villains, which is, I found this out. I was wondering because I knew the Lone Ranger's main villain was Butch Cavendish. But I did not know if he actually appeared on the show. I know he did on the radio show and in the movie that was, that we went to see. But I looked it up, and he did appear in quite a few episodes of the Lone Ranger, and he was also played by Glenn Strange.
Hey, we're still nominating for best job though. We only got 2. How about?
Well, that's all I got, but I just wanted to go ahead with that, and then we can go back to villains. But I wanted to kind of just give Glenn Strange his props because I thought he was an interesting guy.
Oh, he is. He is an interesting guy. I just want to make sure that we give our award.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. We can always back up. No big deal.
Yeah, that's true. James West and Artemis Gordon were spies.
Yeah.
Instead of sheriffs, they were spies, which is pretty neat, particularly for a Western. And I guess you got Doc Adams. You probably got some other Docs strewn around about through the West.
Doc from Gunsmoke. Yeah, exactly.
The medicine. What is it? Medicine one. That's really a little later on. Dr. Quinn. Medicine.
Yeah.
She's the 80s and the 90s. But I kind of got to go. Bartender. That was like, I guess we had
a very important job in the Old West.
Yeah, and they had blacksmiths.
Oh, Newley was a blacksmith.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, Burt Reynolds was too. His character, Quint, was a blacksmith.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah.
I couldn't think of anybody, though, that had any job that just really, really stood out. I guess the Spy Job.
Well, if you think about it, Wagon Train was kind of a whole show about having a job.
That's true. Trail Boss.
Yeah.
Trail Boss. You know what? Let's go with Wagon Train and Trail Boss. That was.
Yeah,
He's
that
kind
would be the best job. Yeah.
of like royalty.
Yeah.
Royalty. Trail Boss. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't think owner of the Ponderosa just.
That's not really a job. Yeah.
That's just too long a title. I like Trail Boss from Wagon Train.
Because when you got that much money and you own everything, it's like, Elon Musk does a lot of stuff, but you wouldn't really say he has a job per se.
Okay, so best villain is who?
Best villain, I had Butch Cavendish, and let's see. Oh, and Steve Forrest, who was best known probably for playing the head guy on the short-lived TV show SWAT and a few other things. Kind of redheaded guy. I don't know who he is, but anyway, he played 3 villains on Gunsmoke, and he was such a good villain that when James Arness decided to do the Return to Dodge movie, he picked the Steve Forrest villain to be like the guy who would, because he was like, he picked the villain that was like a real psychopath called Will Mannon. And because he'd done something to Miss Kitty and held her prisoner, and he did it again on the movie. So,
right.
So that was like, that was pretty memorable to bring one back for a movie.
Well, I didn't even write down best villain, so I don't even have anybody to.
There's not a lot of repeat villains on westerns, really.
Well, there's one that does stand out, and I can't think of his name. And he got to be a big movie star years later.
Yeah.
He's got big giant teeth, and his daughter was an actress.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in the Cowboys. He's the guy that killed John Wayne.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Dennis. Dadgummit. His daughter is a big star too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't think.
I keep thinking. Yeah.
Everybody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah. And, he always played psychos.
Oh, he was great. He was the greatest psycho ever.
He was great.
I mean, you hated him. Hated him so much. I bet he had trouble in the grocery store when he'd go to get pack some bananas or something.
There was a guy that was a repeat villain in the Wild Wild West. It was that guy. He was a little person, and he played like a villain called like Mr. Big or something like that. And he was like a big villain.
Billy Barty or something. Billy Barty.
Not Billy Barty. It was another one of those guys.
Oh well.
But I remember I just thought of that just then. I wish I'd looked it up, but he was a repeat villain on there.
Best outfit.
Oh, best
clothes.
I've kind of got a couple of funny things. Like I've got like the outfits that were memorable, but were kind of they kind of look like dandies, if you know.
Sure.
And that would be because they all had, tight pants. They had their tight pants on.
Yeah.
James West.
Oh yeah.
Because boy, he had them tight breeches, that blue suit, and and Roy Rogers. I mean,
sure.
Come on, the shiny boots and your pants stuck in your boots and everything.
Costume.
Come on, like a Garth Brooks concert or something. And of course the Lone Ranger, he's wearing tights.
We talked about his blue tights, and
yeah, it was exactly the most conducive to Western living kind of thing. Very realistic.
I'll throw a couple more in here. Wyatt Earp, who had the bolo tie or the string tie. Bat Masterson, we talked about the derby hat and the king.
Yeah.
Adam Cartwright, all in black.
Yeah.
Got to give him props for style.
Yeah.
Nick Barkley, which is just another variation of the Adam Cartwright outfit. He even had black gloves he wore all the time. So that set him apart. Paladin, who dressed in black.
Yeah, that's true.
Had a great outfit. And I don't know if you should say outfit, but a great uniform, a great look.
Yeah.
And Little Joe had the best hat.
Well,
that
I gotta say,
smaller
I
hat.
threw in like best outfit / best hat, and I put Little Joe, and I had Hoss too,
Oh yeah, Hoss and Little Joe with the
with the
hat.
big old 10-gallon hat. Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta say, in an upset, I think Nick Barkley, day in and day out, show in and show out, really looked the best because he looked like a
yeah,
real cowboy. But I think the gloves were what really did it for Nick Barkley, and
yeah.
he just
Gloves
carried.
work when you do them
Yeah, he
right.
really did. And you saw him working in that
Yeah.
cowboy outfit. And I don't know if you ever saw Adam do much of anything except ride his horse. Adam kind of one of those guys that talk his
Ride his
way out of
horse
doing
and just be in a bad mood all the time. That was my thing about him. Was like he was just cranky, man.
it. His job was to be
That was like the crankiest cowboy.
cranky.
He got that award hands down.
He wasn't happy on the show.
He
And
was not. Yeah.
well, and I kind of went best boots, best hat. I don't think it's Hoss Cartwright.
Yeah.
Dude's known for his hat.
Yeah.
He's identified. He's not even the same character without his hat.
No,
and
he's not.
And then best boots is Roy Rogers by far.
Oh yeah,
And
because he showed
worst
them all the
boots.
time. I mean, everybody else you never saw.
And worst. Well, we talked about this last week. Worst boots is Kane from Kung Fu. He didn't even have.
He didn't even wear any.
Didn't even have shoes after that. No, he had little slippers. And
you know what? We got to go back and give an honorable mention to Kane for best weapon. His hands, man. His feet.
His hand. His body was his weapon.
His body was his weapon.
His whole body was his weapon.
Body, brain,
Hey, I don't know if we. Well, we. I just realized here there was one guy that I kind of wanted to nominate, but you had Hannibal Hayes had a great hat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to mention one now. Best costumes because I love this costume.
Oh, what is it?
Zorro.
Oh, right. Dang, how'd we miss Zorro?
And we missed weapon on Zorro having whip and everything.
Yeah.
Sword. Come on.
Still doesn't beat that's pretty close to being rifleman territory because Zorro, he made the sign of the Z and the thing shows up. And
yep, exactly.
Yeah, but still. So, we went. That's a good catch. We really don't want to miss that. Hey, I want to mention, though, in hat, James Arness, Matt Dillon, real hat, settle down on his head, made for work.
You
know what I loved about it, Ron, was they had some shows where he had a heavy sweat stain around his headband.
That hat was weathered. You could tell he wore that hat a lot.
They gave a lot of thought to James Arness's hat when we would put it on. They would.
His hat looks like my garden hat. My garden hat has serious sweat stains.
Yep. It had character. That hat had character. Well, but sometimes it'd be all spruced up. He'd taken it to somebody and got it fixed and got it cleaned up and had it shaped. And man, the shape of it was great. I don't know what style that is, but it looked like big airplane wings coming in and then
that was a great hat. Okay, I got an idea here now. I know we probably have several things left, but let's throw it out there and see what we want to cover. Because I'm going to throw out things we haven't covered yet and see what you got, and we'll just kind of go with what we want to hit. Let's see. What I haven't done yet is I've got best horse. Let's see. Best house. Let's see. I put best lamp. That's not really very interesting. Most feared or hated. And best theme song. And what do you got left?
Well, best theme song. My nominee, Lone Ranger.
Oh, yes. That's one of mine.
I mean, you can't beat it.
Lone Ranger, I have Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and I wrote down Branded when you said Branded because I love that one.
Well, Bonanza's pretty good, and the burning map and
the visual that goes with it is great.
Yeah, the whole operation, the whole video that goes with the Bonanza thing, pretty awesome.
Kind of tells the whole story too, because it shows the map, it shows the Ponderosa, and it shows everybody in the show. Bang! It tells you the story right there.
Worst theme song, although it's iconic, is Gunsmoke. They barely got one.
Yeah, I know. Rawhide is way better than that. I mean, the Blues Brothers did a great version of that in their movie.
Yeah, Gunsmoke's almost comedic.
It really is.
There's so much wrong with it. The rest of the show's so good.
Yeah, it's not great.
Gunshot.
Yeah.
And honestly, the rifleman's pretty weak too. I mean, I love the opening with the shooting, but it's almost got no music, so they can't be in there for the theme song. Yeah, just and then they do the thing. But anyway, most hated, feared. Lucas McCain was the most hated and feared. I think people were pet. He was kind of crazy.
I think yours is better than mine because I had Lone Ranger, Zorro, and Matt Dillon.
Yeah, most feared.
Yeah.
Well, Lone Ranger being there because he wore the mask, I think he made him kind of scary and mysterious.
That's kind of what I thought of. The same thing with Zorro too.
Lucas was kind of crazy, though. I mean, you could tell Lucas McCain was kind of crazy. He was generally okay, but he would lose it sometimes.
Yeah.
And when he did, he was really frightening. Usually when you mess with Mark. Yeah, I've got one I got most psycho, but I don't know if that's right. Festus was kind of crazy. But
now I have one, one of the ones I said, and Linda, my wife Linda mentioned this, and I thought it was pretty funny when I was talking about best horse. And she goes, well, Hoss had to have the best horse because, the horse had to hold up Hoss, number one.
Yeah, right.
And number two, she said, I don't know if you knew this, but Hoss had a really big horse. He was 16 hands tall.
Yeah, and he still looked put upon.
Yeah,
Hoss was up there.
And I was like, you know what? I said, that's pretty impressive that you remember that, number one. And number two, that, that big a horse.
It's kind of ironically, Julie and I were both talking about Hoss and horses, and we were saying that Little Joe would if they had a show about they didn't really show the Cartwrights doing a whole lot of cowboying. They mainly just rode the horses into town and rode the horses back to Ponderosa. Very little roping and all, but I'm sure they had an episode or something where Little Joe was breaking a horse or something.
Yeah.
But who would have been the best one at breaking a horse? Not Little Joe, but who? Out of the Cartwrights.
Oh, it had to be Hoss because he's so big.
Hey, he would just. I bet if he ever broke a horse, they just give up when they saw him coming. Yeah, and if he did get on the horse, he'd just go, "Okay, I can't jump.
I can't handle Hoss, man."
Yeah, it's so funny thinking about it. And I bet in the Old West that was who did it anyway. They always
probably a big old guy.
A little wiry guy. Some 300-pounder got out there and just sit on that horse, and the horse going, "Okay, let's walk somewhere." Insanity. So hey, you got a song of the week?
No, that was Close Up Coming is the theme song.
Hey, got a song of the week. Let me and I always wanted to see this, and I never saw it, and they should do it one day. Maybe they haven't.
Give it to me.
1974, Bad Company on the Bad Company CD, singing Bad Company. What a great theme song for a Western.
The cool thing with that song is the album's Bad Company, the band's Bad Company, and the song's Bad Company.
The baddest song on it is Bad Company. A lot of critics think that's Bad Company's best song. And here's what I love about the song. It's the unique nature of the song. It starts off a rock song, a hard rocking song, and starts off with piano.
Yep.
Dun, 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 which I think is what gives it that Western vibe. The saloon piano player, and man, it just gives me chills. Oh, and hey, I found a cover of it that everybody needs to listen to. The cover is by Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, I know
Bad Company. Yeah. Have you ever heard their cover of Bad Company? You need to find it. Bad. Five Finger Death Punch.
Fade it out on me, man.
Oh, you got it. You've got to go out.
We'll see in the final product.
What? What are you saying?
I got a feeling I might be just seeing my forehead on this part.
Okay. Well, no, I think we're okay.
Is your phone dying or what?
I got down to 32%, but I mean
Oh,
that
okay.
should be
Well, it
enough.
should be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're
Well, we're
just
getting
about
down to the
wrapping
end.
it up.
We're right at 34, so
And we've talked about the best Western before, so I
yeah, we
think we've
got them
covered
all.
some individual
Yeah,
awards. I
exactly.
don't. Did anybody ever play the guitar other than Roy Wright, the singing Cowboys? None of the other guys.
I can't recall anybody doing it. And the most I ever saw anybody play anything was Paul Ingalls play the fiddle. That's about it.
They really didn't do it. They could have gone a lot of directions on the Cowboy shows where they never win. It was always basically a shootout at the end. But anyway,
Yeah.
we kind of given you an idea of what we think, and I think that was really the goal. So as far as I'm concerned, Boomer Bongo Boulevard is finished, Ron.
That's a wrap.